ওরাও দেখতে পাই, এটা তো করতে হবে, ওরা দেখতে পাচ্ছে। Collapse of relativity. Today we talk collapse of special relativity. Next talk collapse of general relativity. Today we talk collapse of special relativity. Dear colleagues, I bow down to my teacher, Sri Habul Chandra Ghosh of Bayua. I express my gratitude to late Dr. Michael C. Daffy of Sunderland University for his kind help to pursue my study on relativity, and Ian Tuan of John Chapel Natural Philosophy Society for arranging this talk for me. Electromagnetic fields, electric charges and light possess momentum and energy that we can experience with our sense organs. Therefore, these are real physical entity objects. All physical objects are subject to the action of gravity, and so are those entities too. I would establish in my discussion that the simple consideration will collapse SRT and GRT at once. I have been engaged in SRT and GRT for several decades, and I consider both to be branches of quantum physics. Nature of space and time. Isaac Newton described his physics within the framework of absolute space and absolute time, each of which is independent of the other. According to Newton, even if the universe were destroyed, absolute space and absolute time would still exist. But Newton's views are very strongly contested by Leibniz. According to Leibniz, space is the order of coexistent phenomena and time is the order of successive phenomena. Therefore, space and time would be relative to each other. If there is no phenomena, there would be no space and no time. Yet there exists the centrifugal force acting on the surface of a spinning earth. According to Newton's mechanics, centrifugal force originates from the absolute spinning of the earth. Hence, absolute space obviously exists. Both opinions battled for centuries. Euler, Newman, and Maxwell were influenced by the thoughts of Newton, but Berkeley, Boscovich, Stallo, and Mach shared the views of Leibniz. Mach argued that Earth spins with respect to the fixtures. If a person does not see the fixtures, he cannot settle whether the Earth is spinning or not. Mach proposed that Newton should stop first the spinning of the Earth, then he should rotate the heaven of fixtures around it and show that there is no centrifugal force acting on the surface of the Earth, to conclude that the centrifugal force originates from the spinning of the Earth. As those feats could not be done, so it could not be said with certainty that the centrifugal force originates from the spinning of this planet. Mach believed that a new system of mechanics could also be developed to explain the centrifugal force acting on the surface of the Earth by the action of rotating stars, considering the Earth to be stationary. But he could not formulate such a system of mechanics. After Mach, it was clear that the absolute space and the absolute time of Newton are only his assumptions, the mental construction of Newton. But everyone in the scientific community rightly believed in Newton's absolute space and absolute time, because Newton created a system of mechanics within that framework which could explain physical phenomena correctly. But from the end of the 19th century, it was known that a good many experiments of electrodynamics were not in harmony with Newton's mechanics. As for example, when a charge moves, its mass increases with speed, which is not compatible with Newton's understanding of mass. 2. When a charge is accelerated in an electromagnetic field, Newton's second law, F is equal to ma, is violated, and the charge cannot exceed the speed of light under any circumstances. 3. Light propagates with speed c through space, while the Earth is moving with a very high velocity. Therefore, the speed of light should change in measure on Earth depending on the directions of the Earth's movement and the directions of propagation of light. But with repeated experiments, it was settled that the speed of light is the same c in all directions on the surface of the Earth is measured on the Earth. 4. From the consideration of Maxwell, a follower of Newton, the laws of reflection, refraction, diffraction, and interference of terrestrial and astral light should differ, but no such difference was observed. 5. He have measured the speed of light propagating in a moving medium is v equal to c by n plus 1 minus 1 by n square by v, where n is the refractive index of the medium and v is the speed of the medium. This is not in conformity with Newton's understanding of velocity. To explain all those perplexing phenomena, Henry Cantor Lorentz developed on an ad hoc basis fourth transformation equation between two frames H and H dash a relative motion, which are as follows: x dash equal to gamma x minus ut, y dash equal to y, z dash equal to z, and t dash equal to gamma t minus ux by c square. T is equal to 1 by u square minus c square to the power half, and gamma is equal to 1 by k, u is the relative velocity between two frames. These equations are non-Newtonian in appearance. Albert Einstein reduced the four equations allowing time and space to be relative and time a linear function of space using the two well-known principles assumptions. These assumptions were x dash is equal to gamma x minus ut and x equal to gamma x dash plus u dash, 3 y dash equal to y and z dash equal to z, commonly known as the principles of relativity of all physical laws. That is, all laws of physics are the same in all inertial terms. 1. X square plus y square plus z square, c square t square, and x dash square plus y dash square plus z dash square equals c square t dash square. Commonly known as the principles of light-space constancy, which means that the speed of light is the same c in all inertial terms. Thus, within the framework of relative space and relative time, Einstein was able to construct a new system of mechanics that could explain physical phenomena nicely, which was the dream of philosophers and physicists for centuries. Therefore, Albert Einstein has been considered as one of the greatest philosophers and scientists of the 20th century. But the correctness of the relativity principle of Albert Einstein has not been proved. That is, if there is not a single experiment valid, there is not a single valid experiment to show that the laws of physics are the same in a frame where the speed of light is c, as well as in a frame that moves steadily with respect to that frame. It has been well proved that the velocity of light on the surface of the moving earth is c in all directions, but there is not a single experiment to prove that the velocity of light is same c in all inertial frames. The surface of the earth is hardly an inertial frame. There is a strong gravitating field on the surface of the earth, and therefore, just like all other physical bodies, electromagnetic bodies should stick to the earth's surface, and that should be carried with the earth, and in that case, the speed of light on the surface of the earth must be c, which is fully consistent with rational wisdom. When an observer at rest on the earth measures the lifespan of a moving radioactive particle, he finds that the lifespan of the particle increases with velocity. But if the radioactive particle is at rest on the earth and an observer moves in the same opposite motion and measures the lifespan of the same particle with the justified clock, then from the consideration of Einstein's idea of relative space, there should also be same increment of the lifespan of the radioactive particle. But this has not been shown by an experiment. Therefore, it is clear that just as absolute space and absolute time or the mental creation of Newton, so at the relative space and relative time, the mental construction of Einstein. The only difference is that Newton's assumptions are easy, independent and probable, whereas Einstein's assumptions are complicated, interrelated and seemingly absurd. Isaac Newton constructed the laws of mechanics within the framework of absolute time and absolute space, and formulated the laws of gravitation consistent with the mechanics. Similarly, Einstein constructed the laws of mechanics as per the principle of special relativity and reformulated law of gravitation consistent with that theory with the use of principles of equivalence. According to Einstein's principle of equivalence, infinitesimally the physical effects of gravitation are indistinguishable from the effects of acceleration. This is not, however, at all tenable from the physical point of view at the outset. As for example, when a point charge rests on the surface of the gravitating earth, it will not rotate. But if the charge rests in a system that accelerated with the acceleration g, it must radiate. Therefore, Einstein's relativity was not based on any reliable experimental foundation from the beginning. Unfortunately, mainstream physicists do not allow anybody to utter even a single sentence questioning the foundation of the theory. In this presentation given below, following Newton and Maxwell, we shall deduce all so-called relativistic effects and explain all the so-called relativistic phenomena from classical dynamics. We shall not use any theory of our own. Our discussion, we believe, will give a new direction to our understanding of physics, nature, and pure relativity. We are now ready to enter in the electronic world, but before entering into this world, we should pay our homage to Newton, Maxwell, and his follower, Oliver Heaviside and J. Thomson. We all know much about Newton, Maxwell, and Thomson, but we know very little about Oliver Heaviside, the sage in solitude. We believe that Einstein borrowed, incorporated everything from Heaviside, which will be clear from our discussion. Potentials of stationary system of charges and currents are determined by Poisson's equations, and the radiating properties of stationary system of radiating bodies are determined by Maxwell's equation. Now questions arise: when do electronic bodies move in free space with a steady motion, what should be the potential of those steadily moving electronic bodies, and what should be the, and when the radiating body move with a steadily motion, what should be the radiating properties of those steadily moving radiating bodies? We are dealing with this problem in section 2 and 3 using auxiliary system of classical dynamics to show that electrodynamic equations using SRT are unmistakably classical. In sections 4 to 7, we shall explain all firing electrodynamic phenomena rationally by linking Maxwell and Newton. The scalar potential phi0 and the stationary system and the charges of system A is written in the Poisson equation. This is Poisson equation 1. But the scalar potential phi and induced vector potential A surface of the system of charges with motion in wave directions in free space with velocity u are governed by D'Alembert equation. This is D'Alembert equation. Where the rho is the charge of the system and the Cartesian coordinate independent. In such a situation, the potential at the point x, y, z at distance t and the potential at the point x plus u dt, y and z at distance t plus dv in free space will be the same. Therefore, from this we get this equation, a relation between vector potential and velocity. Vector potential and velocity. This is called the steady state operator. Equation 6 and 7 are steady state operator in classical dynamics. Equation 6 and 7 could be replaced by use আচ্ছা এটা একেবারে শুনিয়ে দেখুন, তারপরে